Alright, so, hello everyone. I have already recorded the script for the video tomorrow, but this is the part where we talk about stream, and we go more in depth, and then it'll upload later on the second channel tomorrow. So, we're here to... Labs, you just had this tab. Thank you. Okay. So, I'm not going to talk about Salmon Run. I will briefly mention it in the actual video. I don't care here. Cool changes. Whatever. So let's talk about these. This change is like, you're a carbon, and you go in, and you are fighting, and you need to get out, and then they're like, oh, well now if you roll, you'll speed up faster, and then you can get out with your roll. Okay. So, like, that'll sometimes be relevant, but, like... Eh. Why did they nerf Stamper? I mean, it literally is a top 5 weapon and has been for months. It's not that surprising. Octobrush. Reduce the ink consumption when swinging and rolling. This is good, especially since the weapon has Zipcaster. So when this thing Zipcasts and uses its main gun, its tank drains like crazy, and it will drain a little bit less. Oh, I just realized something. Oh. Oh, that also. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, so keep in mind, Stampers, yeah. If we were debating if we want a main saver on sword now, I just want to let you know you're also gonna need it for your caster. Yeah, so like, worth noting, that actually hits it an extra time. I actually didn't mention that. I'll have to add that to my script afterward, that it hurts it. So, I didn't think about that at all, actually, when scripting it. I don't know how I didn't notice that. But I still don't care that much, whatever. Okay, a little bit worse than I thought, but whatever. Anyway, we'll get there. Is Octobrush gonna be a thing now? No. This thing still doesn't get enough Zipcasters to get in. It'll get it a little faster, because it paints a bit longer. And it'll be able to fight with bombs more. But that's about it. You heard LR needed a slasher player? Max, Tri-Strike is the worst thing ever for our comp. I have bad news. Anyway. Sorry, buddy. You'll find a team soon enough. Oh, we don't need a fifth anyway. I know. Anyway, so you can play Deco. We'll talk later. we'll talk later, Max. All right, Snipe Rider. So this thing will now get 3 full charges without running out of ink. Huzzah! I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with, but cool. And then it's a bit faster. Yay. Trans rights? Yes, trans rights W. So, yeah, Snipe Rider is still awful. I mean, it got this, and it got a tacticaler buff. Like, it might not be a Z tier weapon anymore, and now might be like a D tier weapon, but it's still like... It's still low tier at best. Wait, it still doesn't get 3 full charges? Well, it gets close enough to where you can charge 3 times. Especially with some main saver, whatever, but like, cool. You know, that's nice. And then, I don't know, like, great, it's low tier. It's still really bad. Why did they not do more? Why is this all this weapon is getting? Why are we so afraid to buff this thing? Give it more. Splash. So, the devs specified this. I want to give a visual. I see a lot of people talking as if this is a paint nerf. And, like, it is, but that's not the point. They're not nerfing it to reduce its paint. So, like, if I'm a splash here, right? Let's say I'm, you know, like, this is my range. And I'm back here, right? In fact, I can even be further back. Let me try it on this dummy. Look how far it paints relative to where the bullets land. Right? You guys see that right there? So what splashes have been getting away with is if they fight like a T-Tech, or preferably something that actually paints its feet even worse, and it shoots like this, even when it can't hit them, it'll paint over them and stifle their movement. Now, instead, this will not paint as far. So if you're running at a splash, you'll be able to get, like, closer without it painting your feet. So it's going to feel much more like it does have this shorter range. It will also, like, paint a little bit worse, technically, and its painting range will be a little bit worse, which is good. I do think splashes get a bit too much special right now. So I think it's fine. I think with this, splash is probably in the perfect spot. Like, I don't... Like, maybe 210V splash would still be nice, but, like, I don't know if it needs it anymore. I think this might be what splash needs. I think it's a fair nerf. I like the change. Yeah, that's what they did. Good. Thumbs up, devs. Nice job. Yeah, so machine's 5 frames. 5 frame nerf. So I don't think people understand just how bad this is for machine. Like, people are like, oh, it can't be that bad, right? So first off, machine fires one shot every 33 frames, right? This is 33 frame fire rate. This will now be 38. And because this weapon is a 2 to 3 shot kill, that's going to stack. So, if you're killing with this, this is now 10 frames longer. Just for reference, 52 gal kills in 20 frames. This thing's kill time, when it actually hits a direct, is now an extra half of 52 kill time. Yeah. And that's assuming you don't do this. This is 15 frames. That is a fourth of a second slower. Actually, no, it's not a fourth of a second. My math is totally fucked up there. That is not a fourth of a second. But it's more slow. I might need to rescript that as well. I will have to note that. Stamper zip nerf machine is not a fourth a second. And open. Great. How slow is that compared to Dynamo? I think Dynamo horizontal flick and machine's kill time are comparable now. Like Dynamo's vertical flick. So, yeah, Dynamo's vertical flick is 61 frames until it kills you. Does it have subsequent? Yeah, it's the fire rate. Yeah, it might only be 5. I'm not sure. It depends on the wording, which we're not sure, especially because NOA. But keep in mind, that's just fighting. Now, let's say you're a machine trying to get Booyah Bomb, and you do this. This is also slower. So not only is your killing worse, your painting and your mobility are worse. You have ads? Wonderful. We have Fizzy? Yes, but this will still hurt. Everyone on Twitch is an ad, so sorry, YouTube. Subscribe to Twitch Prime, everybody. Nobody can actually hear that. They all have ads. Don't worry, the ads are short. So YouTube, you can admire the machine change. And like, yeah, this machine, it did it. Isn't that crazy? All right, we're all back. Cool. So this thing is gonna have less Booyah Bombs. It's gonna move less efficiently. It's gonna kill slower. Like, it's a lot. Double machine is gone. I think double machine is safely dead. I feel safe calling that. Single machine, I don't know. But not for the reason you think. The reason I think we're still gonna see machines is not that machine is not nerfed too badly, it's because none of these are that good. The closest contender, this thing, its main issue is inkjet output. And now it's 210 instead of 200. So the thing that competed with it for area of effect the most also got worse. Not by as much, but it did get a bit worse. Aiden, thank you for the Prime sub. So, I think we will still see machine, but I am very curious if other AoE options would be a thing. And there's kind of two candidates right now. There is Vanilla Blaster, because of the bubble buffs, which, I mean, I think it'll be solid. I do not think it'll be that good. The kid still struggles to get the weapon in, and even if the bubble buffs are substantial, I don't think it would be enough to, like, be what the weapon wants all the time. You could still run a comp around it, and I think in TC, it would definitely be a thing, maybe. Because this blaster, compared to the others, is much faster. Like, this is 4 frames faster than Luna. So, like, maybe V-Blast. The other candidate is 92. If 92's main weapon is really good, then maybe that's something we could see. But 92 would be you want a comp around it. Like, you could not just throw a 92 in a comp, and you can't throw this in a comp like you can machine. So, even if Blaster and Rapid Deco and 92 Blast are good, all of them are going to be comp specific. All of them are going to struggle hard on zones, which is the most common mode. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Minty Miss, thank you for the prime. At the very least, though, I think this was the most unhealthy meta weapon right now. What I wanted is nerfs to the skill floor more than the skill ceiling, because I think that's kind of the problem Machine has. So I would have preferred like a hitbox nerf, but I mean, this is going to do the job. So, yeah. So Sword. Let's talk about Sword. So this is the one everyone is very sad about. All the Sword players are sad. A lot of non-Sword players are sad. And it's because this is the hardest weapon in the game that's, like, played at top level. And a lot of players have been putting in months and months and months of practice to get good at all of this thing's unique mechanics and everything about it, and it's kind of sad that they would have to, like, potentially stop it. And I think for some of them, they probably will. For Stamper as a whole, here's what I think. First off, QR Sword. Already was falling off, still was good for the right comps. After this patch, no. You will not see me run this set. The gear probably will be the same, but like eventually I want to keep the gear the same because it's kind of my main set, like in terms of look. Or I'll make another one and then just keep this as like the look I use for art. I don't know. But in terms of QR Sword is gone. Like, you cannot run it anymore. Ninja Sword, not really a thing, but yeah, you cannot run Ninja anymore either. And the important thing to keep in mind, also, I'll briefly say, horizontal hitbox is pretty big. I don't think the hitbox change is going to hurt it that much. But the charge slash, the reason you want your build change is not just because, like, the main gun. Like, not just because you want to do this, and this is already ink hungry, but because also this. Main weapon used in your Zipcaster is going to be a lot more ink hungry. A lot more ink hungry. So this is also going to hurt its Zipcasters quite a lot. Yeah, it won't even be able to do one charge slash after double burst. Like right now it only has enough ink for one, you won't even be able to do two. So you will need main savers and potentially sub savers on this weapon. Like what we're gonna see, I think, is like stealth jump, main saver, and then either comeback or swim speed. That is what I think the future of Stamper gear is. And then with that, with the main saver nerfs mitigated, like not fully but enough, I think the weapon will feel pretty much the same. LDE for zones, yes. Everywhere else, I don't even think LDE is good enough. But definitely, like, the builds are going to change, and Stamper is now a very gear-dependent weapon. That's how it is. I think now Stamper requires a lot of gear. I still think it's top 10. It might not be top 5 anymore. I still think it's top 10. I think people are over-worrying about the nerfs. Like, yes, its main saver curve isn't that good, but I still think, like, you can fit 2 mains of main saver, maybe even 3. So, it's just going to be how it is. And I think Stamper will be fine. Did they do too much? Probably. Like, probably a bit unnecessary. But I think it'll live. And I think the main reason they changed the ink tank usage is, like, damage combos at a distance, and in fact, I believe they even say that. And, like, its mid-range pressure was a bit absurd, so it having more downtime I do think is important. Like, that is the more unhealthy aspect of the weapon. So, I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I do think the main place it'll hurt is Rainmaker. Because in Rainmaker, your ability to contest shield pops is very valuable, and also QR Sword is very good in Rainmaker, since you can, like, be the Rainmaker grabber, and both of those things are gone. Or, like, at the very least, worse. So, I do think, like, Sword and Rainmaker might take a dip. I think in Zones and Clams it'll be fine, and in TC it wasn't used much anyway, so... I mean, I think it'll be fine, but... yeah. Yeah, if you want to play QR Sword, you play V-Wiper. But we'll get to that, because that also got nerfed. So this... I'm going to talk about Bubble last. This is the main change of the patch, is Bubble. Like, nothing even comes close to Bubble. So we'll talk about it later. Tack. So Tack will last 2 seconds longer, and... special power-up will stack with it easier in lower quantities. And right now, one sub of special power-up actually gives you an entire extra second. So I think what we're going to see is if you play a cooler weapon, because the cooler weapons aren't gear dependent, like, at all. Like, let's take a look at the weapons that have cooler in them, you know? This thing wants to run QR, but that's about it. This thing wants to run QR, but doesn't care. This thing needs a bit of run speed, but not that much. This weapon's not relevant, especially with Chara in the game. This thing is a bit gear dependent, but it can afford a little bit, and this thing is not gear dependent. So, I think if we see a few subs of special power, then that means the base duration for cooler is going to go from 15 to about 20 seconds. And I think that's, like, pretty damn substantial. I still don't think it's enough for the special to be, like, good everywhere. But I do think in Rainmaker in particular, we will probably see more of coolers and mainly more of this. I think Zap 85 is going to start to be a real Rainmaker niche after this patch. And actually maybe this instead. But like, one of these two is going to be a lot more, a lot better. That being said, it's not that much of a change, but it's still nice. Super Chump. So, the first change to Chump is very interesting. All of the changes are interesting, but in particular, the first change. So, these changes for Chump are really good because they're not just valuable buffs, but they also show that the devs know what direction they want to do with the special. So, the first change is the Chump's paint. So, for example, if I just Chump here, you know? They don't, like, they paint a decent bit, but not that much. Right? So what's going to happen is before they explode, because once they explode, you know, if you're like a frontline walking in, like this is really nice. You got a bunch of paint on your feet for free. But now you're going to have comparable paint to this when they land. So if you're like a Tetra and your CDS chumps for you and you go in, you're already going to have a lot of paint on your feet. So that's in itself is very nice. On top of that, it's going to 3-shot now, and it's going to combo much better. And you'll be able to aim closer. And that's good because all of the chump weapons are fairly aggressive. So there were situations like when we did double zap with Last Resort, where we would want to chump in, but the chumps would end up going too far because the zaps were positioned aggressively. So the zaps would have to back up a bit first, and that's bad. Because this special is meant to be quick. It is meant to be played with comps that move fast. So having to back up is really bad here. So that change is good. Now, this is not enough for Chump to be on the level of like Crab or Inkjet or something like that. It is enough for one of them in comps to be worth running. So I think stuff like the new Dooley Sculpture and Tetra or Zap and stuff like that could be interesting. I don't know if we'll see it. I still think it's very comp dependent. But it's in the right spot. I think if it now just has a little bit bigger of an explosion radius, I think it'll be better. Like, I think that's all it needs now, is it just needs a bit of a larger explosion radius. Like, that's the only change I think it needs now. And I think if they gave it that, it would be really good. So, I hope we see it. But for now, W. Ultra Stamp. They reduced the duration by 1.5 seconds, and they made special power-up compensate for it by stacking better. None of the stamp weapons really want to run special power-up. In particular, this hurts Mini. If you were to need special power-up, Mini cannot really afford it. Everything else can, but like, Wiper doesn't want to because it's a QR weapon. This thing doesn't want to because it's QR. This thing doesn't want to because it's QR. So like, much less optimal. But realistically, I mean, people are over-worrying about the nerf too much. Like, yeah, it sucks. But also, like, when you pop Stamp, like, if you're a Wiper, you're up close to people, you pop Stamp, you go do things, and then, like, around here, you throw the special. You know? Let's QR manure player. Quick respawn. So, like, that's what you do with Stamp right now. And, like, now you just don't sit in rush mode forever. So, like, just make sure you pop Stamp as far forward as possible, and that's it. And, like, throw the Stamp sooner. Like, is it an unnecessary nerf? Absolutely. It's very stupid. Is it more than a tiny slap on the wrist you'll barely feel? Also, like, yeah. So, whatever. I find it weird that they did that nerf. Maybe there's a design reason behind it. I do think Stamp has a very long duration for an aggressive special, like compared to stuff like Zuka or Inkjet or Crab. But again, it felt so unnecessary, especially being a second and a half where Crab got nerfed by only 1 second. Just, I don't know. But whatever. It doesn't matter that much. So Bubble. Bubble. So first off, it's larger. Cool. I don't care. This is what matters. So, it's worth noting this change is to special weapons. Not to main weapons, not to subs. So, teams that are like 4 people in one spot and go for Bubble, you know, and try to shred it, that's not going to feel any different. What's going to feel different is if there's a Bubble and you need a special to deal with it. That is going to be a bit of a problem. And it really depends because we don't know. It's a counter to missile. You don't know. That's the thing. We don't know what specials it's actually going to tank more damage from. If I had to guess, though. If I had to guess, I think it will tank more damage from Missiles, Booyah Bomb, the Vacuum Shot, probably not, actually. Not the Vacuum Shot. Inkjet, Ultra Stamp, Crab Tank. I mean, they better not. Tri-Strike, which is funny because they overtuned Tri-Strike's damage, and now they have to overtune Bubble's resistance to it so it doesn't break. And Kraken. I think Kraken, Tri-Strike, Crab Tank, Stamp, Jet, Booyah, and Missile will all get changes in terms of it. Now, Booyah and Tri-Strike don't really matter because you're not going to be able to stay on the bubble anyway. Same for Kraken. Stamp, maybe, but Stamp will probably be fine at breaking it regardless. Crab Tank, it'll probably be felt. Missile, it'll probably be felt. But the main thing is Inkjet. Inkjet damage to bubble is not bad, but it's not good right now either. If that thing can tank more from Inkjet, that's very valuable. The question is, like, will it matter when things are very coordinated? Because Inkjet's going to have a lot harder of a time dying anyway, because there's less Stamper and there's less Machine. And there's going to be a bit less Crab output. So, like, Jet indirectly got buffed anyway. If its team is pushing with the Inkjet, which always happens, will the bubble really be able to tank enough? You know? I don't know. I do think it's going to be better. Like, it's still definitely going to make it like a middle-of-the-pack special now, at worst. Possibly higher. But I don't know if it's actually going to be good enough. Because Bubble is still a special that is made to be placed on flanks. In addition, if it is good enough, then I don't know how healthy that's going to be. Like, yeah, Bubble's nice for QR stuff. But also, Bubble is not fun to fight. And I do not think that this change is going to make it any more fun. At least mains and subs will still work, but I don't know. What are the most important changes? Bubble got Giga buff shield HP. Stamper and Machine got pretty solid nerfs. And Super Chump is, like, actually probably going to be pretty good. Points for special. Neo Splash doesn't need this. That being said, Neo Splash's playstyle involves way too many strikes, so I don't care. Whatever. Cool. Maybe people will pick T-Tech now with the 2 nerfs combined. Finally. So, that'll be cool. T-Tech is cooler, so... Yeah, I'm down to see T-Tech instead of Neo Splash. Why not? Rapid, 210. That'll actually really hurt. Inkjet output is its main problem. I think it'll still be fine, but I don't think it's going to be, like, really good. And Ballpoint 200 annoys me a lot. And to show why, let's go down a little bit. You know, let's go past this patch, you know. And let's go down. And down and down and down and down. And right here, version 3.0, Ballpoint Splatling. 10 points for special cheaper. No other changes. Why? Why did we do this here? What was the point of this change? The issue with Ballpoint was that the special was weak. So this, quote, nerf is just fixing something that we never should have done anyway. And I get it's a thing where, like, the devs don't want to nerf more than 10 points for special at a time, or buff. Like, I think that's the reason it's not 210, but, like, come on. It's dumb. At the very least, if you don't want to make it 210, then, like, make special power up, not affect it. But, like, it's kind of weird. Yeah. You're gonna main Anarchy Nova? Yeah, Anarchy Nova is going to be a very fun weapon. Like, that weapon won't really be much competitively. It might be viable because of Inkjet, but, like, it will be so fun. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Anyway, let's go back to the present. Also, they fixed Brellas. Tent shield launch and Brella and Undercover's lower shield size. So, yeah. This is nice for Tent, because in this patch, Tent is getting a real kit. So, like, Tent might be a thing you can pick now, between having Zuko, which is pretty good right now, having mine, and the shield glitch being fixed. It's still going to be buggy. All the Brellas are still going to be a little buggy, but, like, now they'll work. I think Tent has a niche. I think Undercover and normal Brella are still irrelevant. Can you elaborate? So in the transition between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, they accidentally, as a bug, shrunk the shield size. And now it's fixed. 9 months later. So yeah. Yeah, bruh. It doesn't matter. The class is irrelevant outside of Tent. So, like, cool for Tent, but, like, the rest of them are, like, completely out of the way. Brellas will be decent. No, they're still terrible outside of Tent. They have far more problems than that. Far more problems than that. But at least they'll work now. Like, at the very least, they function, I guess. So, like, we'll take it. What's the splash nerf? So, let me show you. So, I'm not close enough, but, like, you see how I'm pinning my opponent's feet, even though my bullets are landing in front of them? The distance of the paint is 10% shorter. So it'll paint a bit less far, but the way the devs talked about it is, like, they don't want weapons that are fighting it to get their feet painted. But it will also slightly reduce the special output, which is good. The devs actually had a lot to say in this patch. Useful for salmon? Yeah, they did. Oh yeah, they did get buffed in salmon. Well, not Regbrella, but Regbrella is good in salmon. Regbrella is actually one of the best weapons in salmon run. It's very funny. But now all the other Brellas got buffed in salmon. So they did it here. There's your Brella buffs, guys. It's not in the right mode, but yay! Like the funny part is like this, and this. All of them also needed multiplayer buffs. All of them did. But they got changed here. Which, like, cool, but yeah. So, here's what the devs had to say, if I can find it. So, the devs had to say a few things after all the changes. They kind of leave their notes, if I can find it. So, by the way, next update is in the middle of Sizzle season, so it will not be first month. Nerf? Stamp? Yeah, Stamp is fine now. It's not, like, amazing, but the nerf was kind of unnecessary. It doesn't matter too much, but, like, it's like a why, but okay. Yeah, Octobrush was the only one, but it was tiny. So, here's what they said. First off, Machine, as a weapon, was designed for fighting in places with height differences or obstacles, but was proven effective even in flat places. So the idea of this nerf, what the devs want is Machine cannot fight in flat places anymore. That's what they wanted. They want Machine to not be good at fighting on flat terrain. And, like, this is cool, because, like, they flat out said, like, this is what we designed the weapon for. Like, when we made this weapon 7 years ago, that's what the goal was. The goal was to be able to fight in, like, terrain that's not flat. So that's cool. And yeah, it'll be really hard to fight in flat terrain. Stamper is just the combos and follow-up attacks. So, yeah. They still wanted to rely on Charge Slash. Like, they state here that they still want Stamper to be dependent on Charge Slash as, like, its bread and butter. But they didn't want it as much. And then Splash, yeah, they mentioned here, like, they don't want you to fight with foes at like a far distance. They want it to feel more short range. So yeah, the next patch is going to be in the middle of the season, which, I mean, I think the state of the game is probably fine for that, but I do still wish we got him a bit sooner. But at the very least, now there's no 2-month wait. Like, it will be shorter than we waited for this one. Give us less flat terrain. Yeah, they're not. The devs aren't there yet. They haven't figured that one out yet. They haven't figured out that maybe the map shouldn't be flat hallways, but we're not there yet. Balancing is fine. I mean, it's okay, but changes are not happening fast enough. Like, the changes should happen faster with what we're doing. But yeah, I think it's overall still a good patch. Like, I've seen so many people are like, giant L patch, and I'm like, I don't think it is. Like, they went a little over the top with nerfs, and I wish they did more with buffs, but, like, as a whole, it's good. Like, I would say as a whole, this is a good patch. So, yeah, and no sub-weapon buffs is kind of, I don't know. I think it did the changes it needed and nothing more. Yeah, the new weapons could have a big impact. Whereas the sub-buffs everyone wanted. Everyone was on copium for sub-buffs in the first place. I never expected it to happen. I do think it's more possible after this patch. Like, if they add a bunch of weapons with utility subs and then they aren't played a lot, they might go, okay, maybe the subs are the problem. Oh yeah, you can change your weapon in open. So yeah, that's a W. We did it, guys. You can change your weapon in open. We did it. You could finally change your fucking weapon in open. Let's go! Woo! 9 months! We did it! Yeah, and League Power's in open. They didn't state this, but the devs clearly intended League to come back. And then when the game was out, they're like, okay, actually, this is too similar to open. Let's make something new. And then they threw League into open. Which I think is fine. I don't mind it. My issue is more that challenges are limited time. Why are these events limited time? What are we doing with that? Did we not learn from Salmon Run in Splatoon 2? Why are they limited time? Why are they limited time? Like, yeah, like splitting queues as well could have been a problem. I just, yeah, I mean, I think I'm fine with it. Splatfest has been limited time. Yeah, but Splatfest, like, I don't like that Tricolor is limited time, and everything else is just like a theme of Turf War. So I think that's fine. But like, this is so many different challenges. It's just like between extra work, big run, event mode, Splatfest, like, I think it's just too many limited time events. Like, there's so much stuff there. And also just, like, casually, I think these kind of challenge modes are exactly what it takes to keep a more casual player base hooked for longer. Like, give them wacky, fun shit to do. And, like, it looks so fun that a lot of competitive players want to do it. And it's not even made for them, and they're excited for it. It's like, I can only imagine in more casual spheres than the ones I see that is probably, like, much more hype, and just... yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, with Sizzle Season as a whole, the patch is a mixed bag. There's some positive, there's some negative. I think it's overall good. But I think the actual question for this patch is not, is it good or not, is this patch enough? Is it okay that barely anything got buffs? Like, is that okay? Or not? And I'm not sure. You know? I don't think we'll know for sure until it's out. Like, I'll definitely talk about it when I review the season. And right now, I know a lot of us are going to think it's not enough, and I think that's probably what's going to happen, but we have to see. Mainly, we have to see what Bubble does. Because Bubble could either be tiny or it could be huge, and we don't know. Manzana, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Yeah, V-Roller will be very scary. I do think V-Roller is actually, unironically, the biggest winner of this patch. Like, no joking, I think V-Roller is, like... I already thought that weapon was very underrated, and it's, like, the best weapon in terms of one that actually uses Bubble. Because it has a much easier time getting Bubble in, like, really annoying positions and using it. And now the Bubble's buffed, like... I think Roller is, like... Let's make a chart, you know? Give me a second. Let's make a chart of the Splatoon 3 weapons and kind of, like... things I think are changed. Let's make something real quick. Right. Here's what I'm thinking. Oh, wait, these are the maps. Never mind. Fresh season. Where's the weapons? Is this not updated? No. Ah. Is Crackon objectively worse now? No, but it's not better either. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, we found it. Right, so let's see. Biggest winners. Better. Slightly better. Even. Worse. Much worse. Right. It's like... AoE weapon. Yes. Yes. I'm only going to rank relevant stuff, by the way. I'm not going to rank everything. I'm just going to rank the stuff that I think is relevant to this update. So I'm not going to cover everything. But I'm going to just kind of go over my thoughts. Yeah, I'm only gonna rank the relevant weapons, so. I don't even think Wiper's worse. I think it's literally even. Like, I think the indirect, like, because, yeah, the stamp is worse for Wiper, but also Wiper's worst matchup is Machine, which is now much more tolerable. What happened to range? More AoE options are, like, better now because of the nerf. Though not for this thing, because they also points for special dead, so that's unfortunate. I don't even think... I think Splash might honestly be better. Like the vanilla one. I think it's kind of even. If not, maybe better. Yeah, this is much worse. I don't even think... I think Ballpoint is actually better. I think Ballpoint... Actually, with the bubble nerf, maybe even. With the bubble change, I'll put it at even. But, like, it's not even that. And then, like... Yeah, I guess Vimy. I'll rank some of the stamp weapons I think are relevant, I guess. Oh yeah, this is slightly better. I don't... I guess. Sure. Carbon gets a tiny W, but... Oh yeah, this way better now. Better because this is worse. So T-Tech is now like a thing. Yo, Splace Games, thank you much for the Prime sub, and Eden Ray, thank you so much for the 200 bits. Very much appreciated. What else is worth ranking? Zimmy is actually way better. Oh yeah, Chump. Oh yeah, an 85 I think is worth. Is there anything else here I feel is worth ranking? I guess 96 Deco is just worth putting here in general, but it's not any different. Actually, no, this thing's literally unchanged. I'm not putting it in. Oh yeah, Tent. We'll put Tent there. Because Tent did get the shield thing. Oh, and Junior. Junior can go there for Bubble. I think that's everything relevantly changed. I do think Roller is honestly the biggest winner. B Junior higher than C Junior? Probably, yeah. But I don't think either will still be that good. Clash Neo, that weapon's not relevant. Forge picked? Fuck no. That weapon's terrible. H3? Vanilla H3 is irrelevant. I'm not... The other ones aren't in the game. These are just the ones already in the game. Yeah, CDS I think is actually like... If CDS Tetra is good or CDS V-Dually is good, I think CDS will be very good. I am only ranking these weapons. But yeah, I think Roller is the biggest winner. I think Roller, if there's any weapon to take advantage of Bubble a lot, it would be that. V-Slosh. Nothing changed with Bucket. I guess like you could argue indirectly like AoE option. Alright, fair. I'll put Buckets as AoE, I guess. Even though it's not... I mean, it's kind of AoE. There you go. We'll put Buckets up there. Yeah, I mean, more stuff better than worse, but, like... Stamp nerfs definitely hit some things randomly. What happened to the slider buffs? It was a lie. I don't know, just some spectator mode, I guess. Like, spectator lag. So it's not real. Yeah, I'm really disappointed there's no slider buffs, but we roll. What do you mean by AoE? Area of effect. It's like Machine is the area of effect weapon in comps right now. So, Machine being worse means other area of effect weapons are better, indirectly. Because, like, it is now easier to justify picking them. Explo, no. You're an Inkjet meta. Explo and Inkjet do not get along. So, like, not gonna be your pick. So, I mean... Yeah. Also, I guess, like, there should be a tier here to be accurate. Stamper is not worse in the same way as these are. Stamper is definitely hit harder, so I guess to be fair, we'll do, like, this. Much worse. Do worse, and this can be slightly. Yeah. That feels more accurate. But AP not be slightly better given the buffs to other stuff. Yeah, but it did also get 10 more points for special. Why T-Tech better? Because Neo Splash worse. Like, T-Tech is now 20 cheaper strike. And the pain is more comparable. So, like, T-Tech stocks are definitely up. By how much is yet to be seen. But if it's going to start taking over Neo Splash, I think it's definitely worth being there. V-Splash is even. Because other stuff got nerfed that dealt with Crab. Stamper and Machine are big Crab counters. Those being worse means Crab is better. Crab is going to be a bit better this patch. So it's more worth picking V-Splash. Oh, that also means Dooley. I don't know how I forgot about Dooley, but Dooley is also slightly better than. In fact, Dooley might actually be even with Splash, just different roles. Actually, to be safe, I'll put T-Tech here. But yeah, I forgot Dooley for a second. But yeah, Dooley is going to be better too. Are you still going to play Sword? Yeah, I plan to still play it. I'm probably not going to play it as much, but I'll still play it. What about V-Pro? That weapon's irrelevant. That's a terrible gun. It has line marker. So that weapon is completely dead. 180p cannot save that thing. No one picks it. No one wants to. People don't even pick the one with the bomb. Fling's the worst due to Wiper Deco. Yeah, but that's not a patch. This is just patch. What changed in the game because of this patch? Ink brush? It has stamp. It's just stamp. It's 3 stamp weapons and then Neo Splash being, like, slightly toned back. Oh yeah, Dynamo. I don't think Dynamo's relevant enough to be ranked. I still think if you want a cooler on Flounder, which is the one map you would pick it, you would pick it on... You would just pick Tri. Tri Nouveau is, like, the best weapon on Flounder. Like, it's so broken there. Like, why would you not just pick that? Are you gonna pick S-Blast 92? Will I pick S-Blast 92? Let's say I'm thinking about it. Let's say I'm thinking about it. Let's say we're doing a little bit of testing. So. Maybe. I'll play Machine. I might play Machine for very specific map modes, if it's still usable. But, on the other hand, we're going to have Wiper Deco, so if we need 3 entry specials, we really don't need a Machine anymore for it, because we just have Wiper Deco. 11-18 is crazy. Oh, no, you should see the Splatoon 1 game. I was experimenting. When I try stuff, I commit. I wanted to try a certain playstyle, and I committed to it. 0 stamps? Yeah. I'm not here to get experience with the stamp. Guys, I'm not playing K-Luna to debate playing Luna. You guys know what blaster I'm thinking of playing when I pick Luna. Luna is just to get used to short range. Machine grind did not pay off. Yep, I spent a week and a half on Machine. Meh, I don't give a fuck. That weapon puts me to sleep. I'm glad I don't have to play it, to be honest. Like, I can't lie. I'm a little bit happy I don't have to play Machine. So. And you're probably happy you don't have to edit Machine clips. I'm so curious what roller players are going to be able to do. If S-Blast is bad, what will you play? Honestly, I don't know. Right now, I'm thinking either try and make Machine work for those maps, or just play Sword everywhere and hope it works. Or maybe try to learn to play Rapid Deco. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I would say it's more likely I just do Sword for the open. Like, here's what I was saying, chat. And you guys won't know until it happens, but I'll say this. I will try 92 out. You guys will not know if it's something worth picking until it happens. And I have no idea. But we'll try. You think Junior or Zimmy that can spam it will be good? I don't think you want stuff that spams it. I think you want stuff that fights. I'm much more interested in Roller and Squiffer. Though Zimmy might work too. I just think Mist on that thing is really bad with the state of Mist. If anything, Cherry I'm kind of interested in. Like, I'm interested in Cherry, Squiffer, and Roller in terms of bubble weapons. Also, I'm just gonna call it Cherry forever. I hope you guys know that. I will always call that Cherry H3. Like, that thing is Cherry H3. I mean, Swig will be a zones weapon, and, like, yeah, it'll be good at breaking bubble. A bit, I guess. Sure. But yeah. Can't catch a break. I mean, as long as Sword's still good, I don't mind. If it was in the spot where I think they actually killed the weapon, I would be upset. But I think the weapon will live. So for now, you know, I just have to hope that's the most of the nerfs we get for a while. We'll have to see. But yeah, I mean... Favorite change in the patch? I like the cooler buff because I like more of cooler. Cooler is very fun. So I like that they're making cooler better. I guess I also kind of like the machine nerf. Least favorite change, Ultra Stamp. Easily. What the hell? Yeah. We'll see what happens, though. But that's my thoughts on it, really, so... Yeah, we'll see when it comes out later today for those on YouTube, but... You know, that's my thoughts on it, so... I need to eat food, so I'm gonna go have dinner and then help out with the editors in terms of getting the video out tomorrow for you guys on the main channel, and Thursday, by the way, gameplay of S-Blast 92. I will try to get it out on Thursday. Alright, I'm gonna go eat, so I'm gonna raid someone else talking.